though I am 100% right, 100, not even a close second, it is hard for me to illustrate my point at times. And one of the reasons you can't just pass that to anybody, one of the reasons Vince McMahon cannot step down is other people don't know how to do it. There is no college in the world you can go to and major in promotion. There was no library on the face of the planet you can check out a book. Very tough to explain it to the guys. Even within the pro wrestling business, which is solely that. That's why I love to use the example, because it's solely that. It's not about drop kicks and backdrops. It's purely the psychology business. And I don't think anywhere it's better on display. And even when you have those wrestlers that are in that business, some go to the top and some don't. Some still are in the gym working on their backdrop and their sunset flip and their elbow from the top rope. Those are the guys that are going to jerk the curtain so that The Rock and Stone Cold can come out at the end of the night. And some of them don't even understand what they don't understand. Some of them don't even understand, okay, I need to understand how to be a better worker. I need to understand how to evoke a pop and a reaction from this crowd. You either know how to do it or you don't, and it can't be taught to you. The same thing goes with being a worker or a mark.
I wanted to run this by you because I've been watching NASCAR, really any entertainment sport that you can fucking think of for a really long time. And the thing that I wanted to talk about is Ross Chastain, because people know I don't like him, but there is a difference. There is a difference because the NASCAR community wants to act foolish. Like, I can put a couple of clips in here so you can hear how people try to justify how he drives versus how, say, in the same situation or in a situation similar or close to it, they'll demonize other drivers for doing the same thing.
Joey is by far good enough to nudge somebody and get by him and do what he has to do.
He had a run, too. You could see it.
So you think that's a cheap shot?
I think it's a cheap shot.
Tommy, what do you think?
I do. I think that restart where they were battling coming off of 2, I mean, that was a trouble area the whole race, that little bump with the cars bottoming out and doing what they needed to do, especially on low air. I think that was really, really hard racing. I think what Joey did to William wasn't. Byron was out of tires. He was holding on for dear life, and Joey could have made a race of it, but didn't. Just ran into the back of him, and it all goes back into how many people seen that, how many kids seen that, how to race, and a lot of kids are going to learn from that and say that, hey, we're going to just push him out of the way and win the race instead of race the racetrack, race the driver at the same time. And like you said, that Craven Kurt Busch race was probably one of the most phenomenal finishes of all time of how they raced. The respect they gave, why they were wrecking each other was incredible.
Yeah,
and
I think those two guys look back at that race and probably respect each other.
Dude, rewatching this, right?
Watch this. Here he goes.
Do you guys not remember how Kurt literally ran him over in turn 1? Like, I'm listening to these goobers over again. Kurt literally runs him over. Watch this.
Nobody.
They hit the wall.
And in the wall goes Bush.
Watch this.
That was not a very good idea. Look, the crossover.
Literally, basically about wrecked him, dude. Oh, the respect. The kids watching. What are you talking about?
I specifically remember Tommy Baldwin saying that, oh yeah, the reason why Ross is so hated is because, or the reason why he's allowed to do it, the reason why it's okay for him to race like shit is because he's been in a shitty car.
Alright, listen to this shit. It's a fucking meme, dude.
On the line nowadays, during the race, in the beginning to the end, and these guys have to race like this. I mean, everybody's getting mad at Ross Chastain and how he's racing. He's just racing hard. I mean, the guy's been giving everybody
Look at the head nods. Are you
space
kidding?
for how many years now, getting out of everybody's way,
Right.
and doing and respect what he needed to do, running from
You're in a shitty car, you have to.
30-second for a lot of years.
Yes.
Now he has the capability of running up front, man. He's seen these guys drive past him, wrecking him because they're mad at him because he's lap car, you know.
When did that happen?
You think he has in the back of his head who did what to him back in the day. So I respect the hard racing.
Literally.
But listen, man, understand.
What the fuck, dude?
Tommy Baldwin is not a good example of a valid opinion in this regard, because he's looking at it as a guy who, you know, has struggled, I guess. And it's not even necessarily to say, oh, well, you've struggled, so you can't say anything about this. It's the fact that Tommy Baldwin had a team that struggled, so he looks at it as the guy who's like BJ McLeod after Gateway, which this whole video is about Gateway, where BJ McLeod gets on the microphone and he's like, man, they almost junked my shit. They almost made me waste another car, which was all just a bunch of bullshit. It was just a way for him to get on the microphone and say something, which that's the point of this video, okay? Ross gets out of the car after all the shenanigans, after all the...
Here we go.
Yes, he might be.
Here we go.
Running down.
Out there on your tight, really tight.
Oh. It was a show.
Getting run halfway off the track, all the getting blocked so badly that you almost miss minimum speed.
One still got to pass Denny. And Denny's not giving him any room at all.
I'm going to tell you what, this is a show.
No, there's only one solution to this. Park them both.
What are you going to do about Chase?
But look at the enjoyment we're getting.
Tell you, man, nothing behind you guys here.
After Chase and Denny, you know, fighting over the years and having trouble, now the fans are both. I'm telling you, the one is still having trouble.
Hey, now, Chase, remember,
Denny Hamlin.
The one, if he is considered to have been damaged in that crash, he has 3 laps to make minimum speed or they'll park him.
Look at the fans. Everybody
Out of the way, man.
is watching this.
Take care of your nose.
Which I don't think NASCAR can black flag you because of that, because he's being impeded. I mean, he's getting screwed over, so it's something that wasn't even necessarily his fault. And the rule is fucking dumb. The rule is fucking stupid. That shouldn't be a rule. You shouldn't have a crash clock. I don't agree with it. I still don't understand why it's around. After it screwed over Kenseth at Kansas, that was about the time to get rid of it, and they still have it. So we're trying to save money. No, you're not. But the main point of this video was Ross gets out of the car and immediately rescinds everything he did up to that point. Number one. Number two, basically made it as though he shouldn't be in the car because of how he drives.
Just terrible driving, Jamie. It's one thing to do it once, but I just kept driving into guys. To have all these people believing in me and Justin Marks and Pitbull to put me in this car, they deserve better.
Will you go talk to him?
I will, yeah. I owe half the field an apology, and words aren't going to fix it, so I'll have to pay for it on the track. Almost did today, and then I deserve everything that they do. I can't believe that I continue to make the same mistakes and overdrive the corners and drive into guys. I had time under caution to get reset, and we go green and I drive into somebody.
Regardless of, he finished well after all that shit. He finished great. I mean, considering what it was and how many times he should have been jumped. Like when he got drove down into turn 1 by Chase and he survived that was unbelievable. I've never seen somebody make it through a situation like that, because it just normally doesn't happen. But gets out of the car and says, I shouldn't be in this thing. The way that I drove was basically irresponsible. Just completely redid everything that he had done for the previous couple of weeks. For really the whole season. Really his whole Xfinity season a couple of years ago too, as well, where he was driving like absolute shit at Daytona, blocking the shit out of people, almost causing huge fucking wrecks, causing bullshit with his teammates. Ross is a douche. Let's put it that way. Ross is an asshole. Like, Ross is not he might be a nice guy off track, but when he's on track, he's like Kyle Busch. You can't really control this fucking guy. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with it either. You can do all of these things, but that's the repercussion that you face, is that somebody is gonna run you like dog shit. And it's funny to me how people compare him and Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski and these other people, because that's never been the case. Ross started running people over, started running people like shit, really and truly for no reason. But if you listen to Tommy Baldwin, it's because he's been in shitty cars. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. Ross is just extremely aggressive. He's always been extremely aggressive, like with him and Kevin Harvick. Him and Kevin Harvick at Darlington was pretty much the exact same situation as Joey and William Byron at Darlington, except a little different, except a tad different. I will give you that. But still, the point is that, you know, we both ran into each other off the corner because two dudes are two aggressive drivers. Kevin Harvick's an aggressive driver, but he's smart. Like, Kevin won't just do something to you unless you did something dumb. You have to do something pretty fucking stupid that makes no sense. And Kevin and Kyle Busch had ran into the wall at Darlington around about the same type of way, and it got Clint Boyer wrecked, and you had that whole debacle after Darlington in 2011. There's been situations that have been exactly like that, except Ross and Kyle Busch both just fucking turn the guy, absolutely wrecks the guy after it's over. Like, the wreck is already done, it's already finished, it already ended. We're wrecking each other. Ross and Kyle Busch are probably the two best examples for each other because they're pretty similar. Their thought process is very similar. The real point of this, if you were able to make it through to this fucking point, all right, is that there's a guy in the UFC, mixed martial arts, etc., named Chael Sonnen, all right? And if you've never heard of that name before, I'm going to expose you to this man because there is a reason, and it goes without saying, because this sport sucks. People will do things to put the black hat on themselves, like how they love to say, oh yeah, in the sport, somebody's got to wear the black hat. No, you don't. And you saw how Ross did everything to make himself the villain in that situation, then gets out of the car and completely rescinds everything that he did. Says, I'm basically garbage, I shouldn't be in this car driving this way. Bro, do you realize the untapped potential? And all of these drivers, I'm probably going to send this to Hocevar, because Hocevar is honestly doing the best job out of everybody in this situation, what I'm talking about. When you get on the mic, if you don't say something good, everybody hates you. Why would I come and see you? Understand this, like, your job as a driver is to drive the car well, win races. That's your job, okay? But your job is to bring in more sponsorship. Also, your job is to have good social media skills. Also, your job is putting all of that together in a good marriage, okay? And people like Ross have a major untapped market that he could have went down. He could have immediately gotten out of the car and been like, all of these guys are fucking babies. These are your superstars. Because he said that on the radio. He said, oh yeah, look at NASCAR superstars and how they act. Why didn't you get out of the fucking car and say that on national television? Why didn't you do that? because you got made a punk baby all over the fucking track. Everybody was trying to kill you, and you were still trying to kill people after you killed multiple people. And he doesn't just get out of the car and say, they're just a bunch of fucking losers, man. They're losers. That's all he had to say. All he had to do was get out of that car and say, I did nothing wrong. I'm the best guy here. And if they want to do something about it, then they can do it whatever way that they want. But in the eyes of the viewer, I'm right. I'll be right, because you shouldn't be going around junking people just because you got ran a little fucking dirty. You know? Even though that doesn't make logical sense, because it doesn't. Okay? It doesn't. If you get on the mic and say that, you gain more fans than you lose. You gain more attention than you lose. He lost that situation. Completely blew it. I mean, and the reason why I brought up Chael Sonnen is I showed this video to my friends as well, because it's a perfect representation of where NASCAR needs to go. Because like the WWE, like the UFC, like Bellator, like One Championship, like boxing, these guys get on the mic and they try to sell tickets. They try to sell the fact that you want to come and see them do something, whether it be a fucking overhand right or a guy turning a wheel. People want to hear what you have to say in a moment of something dramatic like that. Perfect example that I can give you of being entertaining, almost to a fault, right? There was a fight card for the UFC in 2015 in July, where Conor McGregor and Chad Mendes were fighting for the interim featherweight title. But you had Rory McDonald and Robbie Lawler fighting for the welterweight title. The best fight that I've ever seen, period. Period. 100% period. Never seen a better fight. The way that they fought, how fucking vile it was, how both of them were trying to kill each other for that belt. And they had an amazing moment at the end of the fourth round. They're both completely bloodied. The octagon is completely soiled with blood. Rory has his face just rearranged. Robbie Lawler's got a lip, his lip ripped almost all the way up to his nose. And at the end of the fourth round, Robbie goes and turns, looks at him. They're both standing in the middle of the octagon, and he takes his nasty ass, blood-filled fucking mouth from the ripped lip and goes and spits it all over the fucking ground in front of him, basically being like, what are you gonna fucking do? And they both stood there, and it was a magical, magical moment where it was clear that these two dudes came to fight, they came to win, and they came to entertain. It was obvious. The tension was high as it could be, and Robbie came over there and put a line literally in the sand of his own fucking blood and said, do something. Do something. It was magical. I can't describe it any other way to you. Do NASCAR drivers need to do this? No. But when you have an opportunity to make a statement, you need to do it, because otherwise you're gonna be a curtain jerker. And I have to somehow figure out how to edit this video together so that I can have this clip in here, because when he describes what he describes, it is verbatim exactly what the fuck is going on with NASCAR right now. Because I guarantee you in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing that become more of a thing, where people are going to be more likely to put themselves out there in a, what you could say is a disadvantageous position. That it could alter their career timeline. Somebody may say something drastic that you may not like, but it's the fact of it's entertaining. This sport is boring. The personalities in it are boring. The one person who's actually going out there and trying to do something, regardless of if I think it's correct or not, you know, somebody's out there trying to finagle and pull branches and fruits off of a tree, trying to be like, what kind of power can I have on this field? Which Ross has a ton right now. Ross is top 5 driver right now for sure. It goes Joey, it goes Ross, it goes Byron, it goes Kyle, and probably Denny is the top 5 in the Cup Series, in the sport right now. You're one of the top 5 drivers right now. When he got on the mic after Gateway and did that, and after he was driven around all over the track like a baby, and he did nothing. He did nothing and then doubled down on doing nothing. You did nothing. All you did was just jerk the curtain for somebody else. You left that door wide open. Wide open. I wish I could talk to this guy. I really do, because I would run this across to him and be like, dude, you just lost out on tons of money, tons of exposure, tons of respect too. Respect. Because regardless of if I don't like what you do, if you back it up, I like that. I like that a lot more. It makes me like you. It makes you appealing. It makes you more human. You know, the fact that you won't let somebody just do something to you like that. You know, it was it was truly the most depressing thing I had seen in the sport in a long time. Like, aside from Kenseth junking Joey at Martinsville and then getting out of the car and saying, oh, I guess my tire broke, my wheel hub broke, and well, that's just what happens. It's like, no, Matt. When you did that at the track, everybody lost their shit. They couldn't believe it. It was the most exciting thing that could have happened in that moment. And for the fans that were there, they fucking loved it. They loved it. It's stupid that they loved it, but they loved it. And then you get out of the car and the first thing you say is, I didn't mean to do it. People still love you for doing that, though. People still, to this day, be riding Kenseth because of that. Being like, he's awesome. But then got out of the car and said the complete opposite. Come on, bro. It's like they don't want to make money. And it really makes me look at how Kyle has his contract negotiation, and the way that they're describing it and the way that he describes it is that it's not going good. And it's because new drivers are coming in and they'll take garbage contracts. They'll take barely any money. I guarantee you, if you look at Alex Bowman's contract, even after he renegotiated and got another contract when probably he shouldn't have, he's probably only making like $3 million a year, maybe 2.5. You know, he's not making hardly shit. You know what I'm saying? In accordance to how much money they used to make, how much money there used to be. And there's a reason. Sponsors have left. Money has disintegrated. There's coins laying on the floor, and you can scrounge those up by doing whatever you want to do. You can get a couple little... You're not going to rake in the money that you used to. But there are tons and tons and tons of companies that are still around that want to give money to people. They want to be able to write that shit off. Like, I don't know what y'all don't understand about that, but the reason why nobody wants to come into this sport, the reason why sponsors don't want to associate with NASCAR is because there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to gain. The viewership continues to drop as boredom continues to increase. okay? The one thing that can change that is you. You can change that. If you're the driver, you can change that all day long. Literally, I've talked to the guy. I talked to the guy once. We were playing iRacing, me and NAS49 Rosing, if you remember that. Racing. Rosing? Racing? I don't remember what it is. I think it was Rosing. Yeah. Anyway, but Alan knows Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar, in case you didn't realize, does this exact thing currently, right now. Every time he's interviewed, he has something new for you. Always. Always. And this is a historical thing. This has always happened. Darrell Waltrip was the first one. Reporters loved him. He always gave them something. And when he did, it made them money. It made them money. It made them money. Number fucking 3, it made them money. That's why he was so fucking sought after his career was over, and they were immediately like, get in a booth. And that's how that works for you. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? DW did that shit in the 70s. What? Whoa.